Shalom, shalom. Peace unto you, Israel. Peace unto you. This is the new Yesh from Israel, Hebrew on the island too. All right. I wanted to bring you a video. Today was my lunar Sabbath, and as I was doing my daily studies, which is the most important thing on this planet, young king, peace unto you. Peace unto you. Young king is on deck. And today's quick video is called The Wilderness. And let me see who's talking. You know, Young King, we give like 5 minutes for people, because I don't do a pre-announcement, YouTube announcement. So we give them a few minutes to come in the room. Remember, the Most High is only dealing with a remnant, so don't worry if only 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is in the room. You know, they'll watch it at a later date, a later time. We both want to eat of the scroll. We both want to learn more. We both want to be more pleasing to the Most High. I certainly do. And I kind of know you want to as well. So let's wait a few minutes, young king. Yes, patience is a virtue. Got to be patient. This will be an interesting video, like my salt video that I just did. Not too many people talk about it. And the way people talk about it, not going to be the way. Anuya, tribe up. Anuya is on deck. Once again, listen, be patient. A few minutes for people to come in the room. Title of the video is The Wilderness. And as I was telling Young King, as my last previous video I did, it was on the salt. Not too many people talk about it. And when I mean people, I mean the Israelites. Because what we're talking about is no concern of the heathens. Even though they're nosy and they want to know everything we do, because they copy everything, we do. They want to be us. They want to be us. They don't know nothing about the wilderness. And you know how our people talk about the wilderness. And it just sparked me a while ago, because I wrote a little bit something in my notebook, because my notebooks are the things that I study. The things that I study, try to study every day. I just wrote a little thing, and I said, it's just writing other videos. And I wrote another video that I was supposed to do instead of the salt, proud salt. But I said, I'm not going to even do that one. And I don't know. I just said, let me do on this wilderness. I'm going to have the confidence in the Most High. I don't got really nothing on it. I got just one page on it. The Most High, I pray that he gives me the words, because I pray about every video that he inspires me so that I can inspire you, so you can gain wisdom and walk in righteousness. That's the goal, to gain wisdom, to walk in righteousness. Like Moses said, I think in Deuteronomy 34, he said, if I'm pleasing in your sight. And King David said, I think in Psalm 18, he said, let me see what he said. Oh, because I've been blameless before you. That's the goal. The goal is not to have 1 billion coins in Bitcoin. No. Or to own all the real estate, or to have giant bank accounts and retirement funds and a whole bunch of cars and all that stuff. The goal for the true Israelite, and I know New Year's one of them, with 2 feet firmly in cement on one side, not on 2 sides. This is what your life is about. Your life ain't about temporary things. Of course, you use temporary things. You can enjoy your temporary things in life, but that's not what you live for. Because at the end of the day, at the end of Jacob's trouble, none of those things that I just mentioned are going to mean anything. You ain't going to be counting digitally how many Bitcoins you got. You care about none of that shit. All right, hold on. where does it say? Where is it at? I think it's maybe Proverbs 48. Let's just show you. I got so much in my head. A.P.T. in the house. All praise to the Most High, the only creator, the creator alone. You gotta act like Dandelion. I like her avatar. And another avatar I like is all praises to the Most High, the creator. That's a cool ass avatar. And Young King, the king. Video, remember we're already at 5 minutes, but let's just give maybe another 2-3 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's give a few more minutes before I hit this lesson. And this it's going to be very short. It's going to be something like the Proud Sort video, something that is from a different perspective. I'm going to show you the wilderness. A new Yeshua Miller is going to show you the wilderness from a different perspective. So get your popcorn. It's going to be a very quick video, I think. And just sit by. I'm trying to look for the chapter that I'm looking for. So talk amongst yourselves for a few more minutes. Okay. And hopefully we can get maybe one more person in the room. And if we can't, we will begin. Always remember Isaiah 10. Remember Isaiah 10. Though Israel is as the sands of the seas, only a remnant is going to return. And I feel and I hope and pray that people in this live stream and myself, yes, Ezekiel 14, though Noah, Job, and Daniel was in it, they had to save themselves by their own righteousness. So I hope I'm added in the small remnant, the small drop. It's only a drop. You know, there's a lot of Negroes and Negroettes around this flat earth, on the flat earth plane, but only a remnant is going to make it. I got where I'm going to read from after I do the thing. In the, I know you do the same tonight. Okay, we give one more minute, and then we're going to let it rock and roll. You know, rock and roll was created by the Negro people. Stole everything. Okay. King, brother. Smile. Most High is, though Psalm 35, it says, those that they're anxious of heart, you have anxiety, be strong, fear not, hold your Elohim. And that's what we need to do every day. We need to behold our Elohim when things getting rocky and you got to dodge a whole bunch of stuff and start sweating, worrying, and all that stuff. Behold your Elohim. Okay, 30 more seconds and we on. Pray to the Most High they don't try to make me. But I ain't talking about them anyway, so they should chill. All right. More seconds. All right, let's begin. Okay, guys. It was really entitled, and I just wrote a little in my notebook. It was my thoughts on the wilderness topic, but I was thinking of making a video, and I just stopped with this much writing. I said, and I turned the page. And videos later, I don't know. I was studying today, and I was like, I don't know. Let me finish this. So, the title is Wilderness. Now listen up, Hebrews. I'm going to let's start off with the definition of wilderness. Neglected or abandoned area, an uncultivated, uninhabited, and inhospitable region. That is the definition of a wilderness. Also, a position of disfavor, especially in a political context. So the wilderness is not just a neglected, abandoned, uncultivated, uninhabited, an inhospitable region. It's also a position of disfavor. It's also a position of disfavor, the wilderness, especially in a political context, but also in other contexts. That is the definition of wilderness. I don't know if any of you on this live stream or anybody that's going to watch this at a previous time knew the full meaning definition of wilderness. That's why I started a while ago, and the title was going to be My Thoughts. Look, see what? Look at it. My thoughts on the wilderness topic. That's what I set out to do several weeks ago. I said, nah, just forget it. Today, I'm doing it. So looking at, and for anybody new watching when I upload it, let's say I write all my notes, all my videos, and I write all my videos. In the past, when I have my other channel, I would write some and then do a lot of just off the cuff, and I'm going to do some off the cuff too. I always do off the cuff. But then I was like, man, I should have said that after I uploaded it and videos already uploaded and stuff. So what I said, I know how to fix that. I know how to fix that. Write all my stuff down first and then put in what I feel as I go along. So looking at the wilderness from a different perspective and not just a one-dimensional aspect, any place that is neglected or abandoned is considered the wilderness. Any position of disfavor is also considered wilderness. You don't get that. You know why people don't look at things like that? And I used to not think of things like that either. You know why? Because I just think one-dimensional. Then when I started getting in, Most High allowed me to get into studying more and stuff like that. I saw other aspects, other dimensions. Then I started thinking in other dimensions, not just one dimension, how everybody thinks, herd thinking, blah, blah, blah. No, I try to think broadly, biblical sense. So whereas everybody would say, oh, the wilderness is just like the forest and stuff like that. You know, like, is there another type of wilderness? Is wilderness just the forest or the woods or the desert? The wilderness, a neglected area, uncultivated, uninhabited, or inhospitable, or a position of disfavor. I wonder who's in a position of disfavor. Especially, that means also in a political sense. That is what the wilderness is. The 40 days that the spies toured the land, the Most High decreed that the Israelites would wander in the wilderness for 40 years as a result of their unwillingness to take the land. The Most High brought victories where it was needed, and his promises to Abraham was fulfilled. The wilderness is a special place for the Israelites and for Israel because the Israelites' identity was forged in the wandering in the wilderness, in the Exodus situation. That's how the Israelites was their identity formed together, like solidified when they was in the wilderness. The Most revealed himself to the Israelites by graciously providing for them or punishing them in the wilderness. The wilderness is a place for intense experience in that neglected place, in that abandoned place, in that uncultured place, in that uninhabitable place, in that inhospitable place, in that place of disfavor. The wilderness is a place for intense experience of stark need. When you're in the wilderness, are you in need? When you're in the wilderness, and when you're in need in the wilderness, you need food, water, protection, etc., etc. It's an intense experience of isolation when you're in the wilderness, of danger, of divine deliverance. That's why the wilderness is a great thing to talk about in Jacob's trouble, because the wilderness is an intense experience of deliverance. Listen, the world knows, even the regular Joe heathen, beast of the field, you ask him, yo, what's going on in the world? I just watched a video of Russian creation, something like that. Russia and the Ukraine. Crazy flooding. I was watching the flooding all around the streets. You know, the subways, yo, the water was like 4 feet high. Standing on the street, that's where the water was coming up. Yo, it's crazy. Even the regular beast of the field know that something's not correct in the world. They know. They know this. A lot of people, you know, some people are scared to say it. Some people will just say it, especially Christians and whatever. Yo, we're in the end times. A great place to be, a scary place to be is in the wilderness, especially in this time. The wilderness is a place of renewal. And the wilderness is the place where we encounter the I.S.U.P.K. We encounter the Most High. We encounter the Ancient of Days. That's the best, one of the best places to encounter the Most High, in the wilderness. Upon hearing the spies' fearful report, when they were in the Exodus, when they're in the wilderness in the 40 days, upon the 40 years rather, upon hearing the spies' fearful report concerning the conditions in Canaan, the Israelites refused to take possession of that land. The Most High condemned them to death in the wilderness until a new generation can grow up and carry out the task. The wilderness is a place of death. The wilderness is the place where the Most High sends his death dealers to the Israelites. The wilderness has a lot of aspects that if you just look at it one-dimensional, you can't see all the aspects or the dimensions that the wilderness brings, especially in this time of Jacob's trouble. The wilderness is a place that the Most High sends his death dealers to all the unwilling, the stiff-necked, the rebellious, the revolting Israelites. This channel is not to talk about heathens or whatever. So we ain't talking about that people, because we know how the Most High feels about the other people. We ain't talking about it. This book here is our law and history guide. It's only talking about us. It's talking about the relationship between the Most High and the Israelites. The I.S.U.P.K is our salvation. Speaks of the relationship between the nation of Israel, the people of Israel, which are only the niggers that have been scattered to the four corners of this flat earth, who only suffer the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. These are forever curses in the system. This is not a one-time curse, and then you go about your business. like the imposters do. Oh, we had this big thing and a bunch of people has died, and now we own the world. You don't fit Bible prophecy. These are forever curses in this system, this Luciferian system. In the world, multi-sending his death dealers. And he did it by kill off all of these Israelites. Only 70 remain. That's why I told you the remnant is small. Don't worry about 3 or 4 in the room. How many think you're gonna see at the end of Jacob's trouble? A bazillion Negroes walking around? No, you're not. You can forget that. He's sending the death dealers. Listen, the wilderness, think about it. Now, this is where I'm going to go into the trying to have you also think, I mean that you don't already, but for this topic, the wilderness, think 2 and 3 and 4 dimensional instead of just 1 dimensional. The Negroes, and remember, I ain't talking about other people because they're slave and loose. We don't need to talk about them. I'm talking about the Israelites. This channel's strictly for Israelites. You know, once in a while, I'll put a screwdriver into the heathens, because they try to skate around and party and think everything's cool and the greatest. I put a little tighten screw on them every once in a while, but this channel's not about that. The wilderness, I gave you the definition: neglected, abandoned, uncultivated, uninhabited, inhospitable. Also can be a position of disfavor. That's the wilderness. So let's now think, not just 1 dimensional, let's think 2, 3, 4 dimensional. The Negroes in the ghettos. Does that wilderness definition apply to them? Is the ghetto neglected? I think it is. Parks, the oldest, poor equipment, crazy, gang infested, drug infested, liquor stores on every corner, churches on every corner, property values at the bottom, school systems in the gutter. It's in the worst teachers, the worst computers and systems. What's up, Real Talk? You're going to tell me that the ghetto doesn't fall under the definition of wilderness? Real Talk, the title is Wilderness, right? Watch it when I upload it. The definition of wilderness is a neglected, an abandoned, an uncultivated, an uninhabited, an inhospitable region, place, or a position of disfavor. So, by the definition, mere definition, the ghetto is a wilderness. You have these, I'm pretty sure some of you guys heard these groups, these Hebrew groups and stuff. Let's move. What's up, Morning Star? Correct. And that's why I just said, I don't know if you just came in, the definition of wilderness is a neglected, an abandoned, an uncultivated, an uninhabited, and an inhospitable region. Also, a position of disfavor. You have Hebrew Israelite groups around the world saying, doing these things. We got to get to the wilderness. We got to get to the wilderness. Let's go to Egypt. Even though the maps and everything is lies, the old world is the Western Hemisphere. Ecclesiastes, he'll change, the demons will change times and seasons and places, and they'll change the maps. They'll change people groups' names and do every other abominable thing. The fake Middle East is amusement park. Those pyramids are amusement park. The Western Hemisphere is the land of milk and honey. They have more pyramids in the Western Hemisphere, not just America, North America, South America, Mexico, and all the Western Hemisphere. Then over there, there are more artifacts in the Grand Canyon and all throughout the Western Hemisphere than that fake Middle East. But anyway, I digress. The definition, the mere definition of wilderness fits the ghetto. Neglected, money's going in there. Abandoned by the political system and society, let them deteriorate. You know, Nixon, a long time ago, in his memoirs he wrote, and they've been uncovered, he said, my worst enemies are the war protesters and the Negroes. My job, one of my things is to destabilize the Negro community. Put drugs in there, gangs, and you can't live with your man, things, the family falls apart. Well, that to me falls under wilderness. We think more one-dimensional. It's a neglected place, an abandoned place, an uncultivated place, an uninhabited place, an inhospitable place, and a position of disfavor. So that's, my take on wilderness. You're already there. You don't have to hike to Egypt and live in some desert. You don't have to go in Wyoming and live where the bobcats and cougars to kill your ass. You don't have to go over there and move some shrubs, put a tent, and try to fish and worry about the black and brown ginormous bears coming to try to kill you and eat you. You don't have to go there. The wilderness is right where you are, even if you live in the suburbs. Are you in a position of disfavor? Your neighbor's looking at you with disdain, saying, "What's this niggerlet doing in our neighborhood?" You're in a position of disfavor. You're in the wilderness. When you look at it from like a multiple dimensional aspect, not just one dimension, you could see, they treat me different. I walk in the stores. I'm in the suburb, but they're thinking I'm stealing stuff when I walk into the stores. I'm in a position of disfavor. So you got one extreme, the ghettos, and then I take the other extreme, the suburbs. They follow you around. I don't want them to be flashing me or saying hate speech. People that have that walking around, following you around in the stores. You're in a position of disfavor. That's the definition of wilderness. That's part of the definition of wilderness, a position of disfavor. So you're in the wilderness. You're in the ghettos. You're in the suburbs. You're in Americas and Europe and Australia, wherever you are. You're in a position of disfavor. You're already in the wilderness. You don't have to go far out. Let me move the shrubs and find some berries here and whatever. You're in the wilderness. And guess what? The Israelites back in Moses' time, they were in that wilderness. And you are in Jacob's trouble, you're in this wilderness. And I don't get it either. Two, these camps and all these people, I think it's Isaiah 28, precept upon precept, line upon line, and here a little, there a little. But when I read the scriptures, and scriptures only Genesis to Malachi, I don't bother arguing, debating Messianic Hebrews, Negro Christians, or whatever, because they have not graduated Hebrew 101, and they probably will never graduate Hebrew 101. Talking about scriptures, Matthew, Mark, Acts, Genesis, but not Matthew, Mark, Acts, Romans, Corinthians, like a 2-year-old knowledge of Bible stuff. Get out of here. So the scriptures say in Isaiah 54, Isaiah 43, Jeremiah 30, Isaiah 11. I'm thinking. Isaiah 11, Ezekiel 34, Ezekiel 39. The Most High is going to gather us from where we are. You read those chapters. I don't give verses. Verses to me make you not as smart and make things easy. This is the most important thing. Some of you guys don't realize. I'm saying you guys in the live stream. Some of you guys don't realize. The Most High is merciful and gracious, and there's not words to describe him. You are the most important thing on flat Earth, planet Earth. You are in a relationship with the Creator. You are his chosen people. You should be involved and you should learn. I don't learn just verses. So then, you know what? Because I learned verses, I'm just going to learn that one verse. No. You know what? I make myself, force myself just to learn the chapter. Crazy. Open the book and read the whole chapter. Isaiah 34. Seek ye out of the book of the Most High and read, and none of these things shall fail. The mosquitoes are trying to get. Got to read. Got to study. So in all those verses I just mentioned, he said he's going to gather us. In Isaiah 27, he said he's going to pick us up one by one. So you don't have to go to that wilderness that these camps are talking about. Oh, let's get over here. Oh, we bought 500 acres in Georgia and we're building our own thing. This is our wilderness here. Right on 3rd and Monroe Street. That's your wilderness. On Lexington and Grove Street. That's your wilderness. On Van Riper, it's your wilderness. On Harrison Street and Hope Ave, it's your wilderness. Isaiah 27, he said he's going to pick us up one by one. When you read Jeremiah 3, he says he's going to pick us up one from a town, two from a clan. So he's going to pick us up. The wilderness is right where you are in Jacob's trouble. You got to buy this big farm and big land over here and move away from the city. And I'm not saying it's not good to move away from the city because it could be zombies. With them, things later turn into zombies. Where we got to fight even more because there's so many of them. Yeah, but the concept of the wilderness is not what they say. Any neglected place, any unfaded place, any abandoned place, any inhabited place, any unhospitable, the ghetto's unhospitable, and a position of disfavor is the wilderness. So let me read. That's basically what I wanted to tell you. And I had one linking verse, and I was just going to give you that one linking verse. But this is not church. This is not your grandmother's, your old, chubby grandmother, Negro grandmother's church. But they're only going to read one verse, and yeah. Hallelujah. Then pass that collection plate about 12 times around before they close the church doors. That ain't this place. This is Hebrew on the Island 2, a new Yeshua Israel. We're going to read the whole thing. You could turn to it when maybe I loaded it. You can turn to it now if you want. I'm in the book of Hosea, chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4. At the end of me reading, I'm going to look at the comments, call it quits. I tell you, this was not going to be a super long, but we're already at 32 minutes. Hosea chapter 4. Hear the word of the Lord, O people of Israel. For the Lord has a case against the inhabitants of this land, because there is no honesty and no goodness and no obedience to God in the land. False swearings, dishonesty and murder and theft and adultery are rife. Crime follows upon crime, for that the earth is withered. Everything that dwells on it languishes. Beasts of the field and birds of the sky, even the fish of the sea perish. What do you see today? Let no man rebuke, let no man protest, for this your people has a grievance against you, O priest. So you shall stumble by day, and by night a prophet shall stumble as well, and I will destroy your kindred. My people is destroyed. See, this is what the church and everybody says. A lot of people say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Well, that's in the King James Version, and the King James Version has a lot of mistranslations. They love to say, oh, the King James Version is the closest to the Hebrew. No, it's not. And number one, this is modern Hebrew, and it's definitely a knockoff from the real ancient Hebrew. But this is what we got to deal with right now. So the closest thing to this modern knockoff Hebrew is this Tanakh, the English to the Hebrew Tanakh. Not no King James Version with tons of purposeful mistranslations. When you read Hosea 4:6, well, that's the main verse that I wanted to bring to you, but we're going to read the rest of this. It doesn't say in the King James, it says, "For my people are destroyed for this for lack of knowledge." This is what the Tanakh, Hosea 4 says. 4:6. My people is destroyed. It says, my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. My people is destroyed because of your disobedience, which also equates to lack of knowledge. But no, you can know some stuff and still not do it. You could be super smart. That's why it's better to use this. In the King James Version, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. In the Tanakh, my people is destroyed. Not just past tense. It says is. My people is destroyed because of your disobedience. Because you have rejected obedience, I reject you as my priest. Because you have spurned the teachings of your Elohim. I in turn will spurn your children. The more they increase, the more they sin against me. I will change their dignity to dishonor. They feed on my people's sin offerings, and so they desire its iniquity. Therefore, people shall fear like the priest. I will punish it for its conduct. I will for its deeds. Truly they shall eat, but not be sated. They shall swell, but not be satisfied, because they have forsaken the Lord to practice lechery. Wine and new wine destroys the mind of my people. It consults its stick, its rods directed. The impulse has made them go wrong. They have strayed from submission to their Elohim. You guys, not on this live stream, you guys that are watching, you guys that are straddling the fence, let me keep this slow, let me not do this one. Oh, well, I don't believe today, I believe tomorrow. Yeah, I believe tomorrow. Oh, the Most High is great, but yeah, but this thing. And they have strayed from submission to Elohim. They sacrifice on the mountaintops and offer on the hills, under oaks, poplars, and terebinths, whose shade is so pleasant. This is why their daughters fornicate, and their daughters-in-law commit adultery. I will not punish their daughters for fornicating, nor their daughters-in-law for committing adultery, for they themselves turn aside with whores and prostitutes. And a people that is without sense must stumble. That is why the Israelites must stumble, and have been stumbling, and will continue to stumble until in the Jacob's trouble. If you are a lecher, Israel, let not Judah incur guilt. Do not come to Gilgal. Do not make pilgrimages to Beth Aven, and do not swear by the Lord. Israel has balked like a stubborn cow. Therefore, the Lord will graze him on the range like sheep. Ephraim is addicted to images. Let him be. They drink to excess. Their liquor turns against them. They love beyond measure. Disgrace is the gift which the wind is bringing. They shall go away from their sacrifices. That is Hosea 4. My people are destroyed for disobedience. Forget about the lack of knowledge, because you can be the smartest, you can be the sharpest knife in the drawer, and you still don't obey and listen to the Most High. You don't want to. You don't even have a desire to. Your desire is Netflix, hookah, strip clubs, Bitcoin, soap operas, buying clothes and whatever else. That's why you stumble. That's why it's only going to be a small remnant when it's all said and done. Isaiah 10. Israel is as the sands of the sea. The mosquito biting me like crazy. Israel is like the sands of the sea, only a remnant is going to return. So that's about it, guys. I said it was going to be short. My short video is 40 minutes long. Hopefully this was something new. I brought something that you can look because one of the persons commented on my last video called Proud Salt, we deal in salt, that I brought it from a different perspective. So hopefully I brought the wilderness topic to you in a different perspective. Hopefully this was edifying to you. This is a new Yeshua in Israel, Hebrew on the island too. Until next time. But before I go, let me read these comments because I care about the Israelites. Israelites, you're so important. That's why I do what I do too, because I know it's important. One job is important of mine is to gain wisdom and walk in righteousness and help people walk in righteousness. So that's why I'm making this video, because you guys are very important. All right, be the salt of the earth. All praise to the Most High. Said, shalom, big brother. Shalom, family. Ready? Another encouraging lesson, a new year. Always uplifting speech. You keep it going. Hebrew. Cain. You too, King brother. Smiling. Copycats. Cain. King. Praise to the Most High. Shalom. Welcome, family. Good is the book. Real talk. It just has to be a neglected place, a position of disfavor, abandoned. The city hall abandoned you guys. The government abandoned you guys. You're correct. Real talk. Cain. Yep. Discontinue our heritage. Salute elder. I never thought of it like this. I was only thinking one dimensional. Real talk. That's, as Israelites, it says in Proverbs 28, evil men understand not the judgments of the Most High, but all that seek the Most High understand all the things. All things. That's why I started thinking more than one dimensional. And you will also think more than one dimensional if you're on the side of the Most High and no other side. All right, let me see. We definitely in the last days. People try to take the jab, don't take the jab. No more treaties, right? No more treaties. You can't deal with the devil. What kind of outcome you think is good? You're making a treaty with a devil. What kind of outcome you think is going to be? People are so stupid. We're counting out the spells. Listen, Rick, Morning Star, people don't realize. When you read Malachi 3:6, it says, the Most High changes not, and Israel has not ceased to be. Well, Israel, you haven't ceased to be. You've been stiff-necked. You've been stumbling for a long, long time. There's nothing new under the sun. So small remnant from time past, and there's a small remnant from time present. What was always with us in the wilderness is what they are missing, elder, in the place it is now. Wilderness with empty arts, meaning miracle, right? Larank. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Okay, I read it. Love you guys. This is the new Yeshua Visual. He on the island too. Until next time.